Here with Matthew Sparks and Zack Klemme, I'm Aaron Snyder. You're watching on dailyindependent.com, the Halftime Prep Talk Facebook page, or YouTube. We're here at Raceland Softball Complex, where Lady Rams coach Sean Johnson is trying to get the field ready for tonight. You're watching this on Wednesday, and Raceland has a game with Paintsville. They have two other games in the regular season before they host the 63rd District Tournament next week. And right across the way, you can't see, but behind the camera, the baseball field will host 63rd District action as well. HTPT is brought to you by Fannin Automotive Family. You can check out the Chick-fil-A ticker if you'd like, and you can see updated records, and we're almost through the regular season, guys. We thought about doing the show a few steps that way on the football field today, Zach, with the weather the way it is. Matt can't even decide if he's going to wear a jacket or not wear a jacket.
I think you can actually see the sun starting to peek out.
It is
but
a little
it's
bit.
been awful.
You know, it's only 53 degrees today. I'm wearing a jacket. I mean, so, you know, how terrible is that?
Last week of the regular season?
I know, it's last week of the regular
It's a
season.
rhetorical question.
Or maybe it's the first week of football. I can't figure it out. Yeah.
Well, since it is the first week of football, we're going to have Coach Michael Salmons on today, right?
Hey.
Just like the...
He's probably right over there in his office, probably.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll get him here in just a minute. I can throw this softball over there, maybe get his attention. No, we're just kidding. We're going to have...
no, I don't think so. You don't have that good an arm.
Oh, thanks a lot. Yeah. Well, maybe I can get Morgan Curley.
Well, that's 80 yards over there. I don't, you know.
Well, that's a long way. It's a long way.
How many feet is that?
I'm right out of school.
Are you serious?
I'm out of
Well, we'll go 240.
Yeah, I know, 240. I know.
We stumped him.
240.
I think Coach Johnson got in his brain.
Ooh.
There's 3 feet.
Former coach.
Yeah.
For you, all right?
There's 3 feet.
Should we go down that road?
No, there's 3 feet in the yard. I know that. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Morgan Curley, Savannah Mackey, and Madison Johnson will join us along with Sean Johnson. And
I'm still traumatized when Savannah Mackey dumped the bucket of water on my head back in the district tournament from last year. So that's why I feel a little cold today, maybe.
You think anytime you come around Raceland
Yeah,
softball,
exactly.
a Gatorade bucket might be coming your way?
Yeah, no. I felt a little shiver when I walked in there. I don't know.
Zach, I'm going to put you on the spot and make a prediction for the Raceland cleanup game since Sean Johnson told me to.
I'm good.
You're good?
I'm good.
Oh. Okay, well, Raceland will play Greenup in the first round, and that's going to be a really tough game. I think we'll get into the district tournament preview here in just a little bit. But Greenup won the first 2 meetings, and we'll talk to the girls and Coach Johnson about that as well. But first, let's go to triple play, and that'll be our game balls. Does anybody else need a softball or baseball, or are we going off the cuff?
No, we're going off the cuff today.
All right, who you got?
Well, I actually brought my own.
Oh.
I got. I'm going with a tennis doubles team. A Kirsten Hensley, Macy Ferguson from Russell.
I know them.
Played together a long time. Played 5 years. They just won their 4th consecutive region tennis title.
Absolutely.
Going on to the state tournament where they will be the #1 seed in the entire state entering that tournament. Of course, they were the 2014 state champs, and this year they have went 58-0 in singles and doubles matches. So I think they deserve a game ball or a tennis ball.
That's a pretty impressive streak. It's been the year of streaks around the area, hasn't it? Zach, who are you going with?
Well, I think you're going off the cuff. I'm going really, really off the cuff. And hey, I started doing this before. Now it's the popular thing to do. I guess everybody else go off the cuff.
Yeah.
I'll take credit for that.
Trying to follow you now.
Anyway,
I'm following you now.
We got state champions already,
Yes.
and we haven't even started district baseball or softball yet, but we got state champions.
You've not been paying attention.
Yeah.
Bass fishing. Noah West, Eric Price, Lawrence County. Both freshmen won the bass fishing championship last weekend at Kentucky Lake, way down there in the toe of the boot. Very impressive. It's, I believe, the 4th year the KHSA has sponsored bass fishing, and the first time anybody, except for way down there, has won it. Callaway County and Muhlenberg County, I believe, won the first 3. So very big accomplishment for the Bulldogs.
Very nice.
We give them a little love. We don't have a tackle box or a lure or anything like that. But
Well, if we haven't hooked you yet, I think we have now.
He's trying to reel in some new viewers, I think, with that.
I'm gonna change the subject quickly.
Please.
So we have tennis.
The old bait and switch. The old bait and switch.
The old bait and switch. The old bait and switch tactic. I'm gonna go with a softball player who could probably get a game ball every week, but I found it kind of funny that Coach Derek Calhoun said that Montana Fouts was a little off the other night, despite the fact she had 15 strikeouts, gave up a bunt single, and walked 2 batters.
Yeah.
Yet she was a little off. So if your off
She had 2
game,
batters.
if your off game is 15 strikeouts, 1 hitter, you get a game ball. Okay. All right, let's move on. We're not gonna do Let's Play 2 this week. We're just gonna talk about a couple of hot topics here for leading into the district tournament. And in baseball, let's go with baseball first. 64th is going to be over at Ashland, and 63rd is here at Raceland. 62nd at West Carter, and 61st, if I can say it right, is somewhere out there.
It's Fleming.
Bath,
That's what I meant.
Fleming,
Both of them.
Menifee.
They're all good. Round?
Do you know where the 60th is?
No. Belfry?
Phelps.
Phelps?
You know where the...
That's not a fun place to go. I'm not
so
going.
I have heard. I've never been.
I'm not
but-
going.
Yeah.
I'm
Are you
I'm
sure?
calling off. So, leading into the district tournaments, we're not going to go down and analyze each matchup or anything crazy like that. We don't want to bore you to tears. But I think there are a couple teams that we need to talk about. For one, Greenup County, and they're 33-1 at this point. Raceland, though, gave them a decent game last time, Matt, when they faced each other. So, is there a chance that Raceland could pull off the miraculous upset and knock off Greenup County in the first round of the district tournament, or is that just crazy?
I think there's always a chance. You're talking postseason, any kind of sport in the postseason, there's always a chance. That's why you play the games. I think whenever they face each other at Raceland here, like last month, I think Gates Hughes needed a big 3-run triple to break up a close game. Raceland's kind of struggling here heading into the postseason.
Right.
Right as we stand here on Wednesday, they've lost 11 in the last 12 games, kind of struggling, but I think they still have that confidence that they can compete with Greenup County. I think that could make it for an interesting game.
A team or a couple teams that really pique your interest, Zach, going into the district tournament?
Well, it'll be interesting to see what West Carter is able to do. You look at that 62nd there, and Matt and I were talking about this a little bit ago. They're still trying to figure out what exactly the status of Ben Jordan is.
Right.
West is probably going to be fine in his first round game, you would think, although Morgan, of course, shocked him a couple of years ago and then gave him a great game in the district finals that year. West would be a heavy on-paper favorite in that game, and then you got East again, with whom they split in the regular season. And, if you're this year's draw for the region baseball tournament is very intriguing because you have an overwhelming favorite in Greenup County, and then you have 2 or 3 other teams, a Rowan and a West, maybe, that you would not pick to win the whole thing, but they're very dangerous in a one-game setting because of their pitchers. But for West, a lot of that starts with Ben Jordan, and so you just kind of remains to be seen what his status is, how they play without him, how they stack up their pitching without him, if they try to save somebody for an East Carter in the district finals in order to try to get away from certain other teams, which you can never be real sure about that because you don't know how the draw is going to play out until the next day. But West Carter's an interesting case study in just how they're going to manage that. And they've had a little bit of practice this the last couple of years because Jordan's had some injury troubles. But just be interesting to see how they play it all out.
You kind of think that Round County could maybe fly under the radar a little bit here. We've been talking about some of the other teams, maybe could go the distance. When you got pitchers like Cameron Plank, I think that makes you dangerous in and of itself.
No doubt about it.
And also, too, the Fairview-Ashland matchup in the first round of the 64th district. Fairview's had big leads on Ashland so far in their first 2 meetings. Fairview scored 6 runs in the first inning when they played in Ashland. So really, Ashland cannot look Fairview over one bit, especially when maybe thinking that they're going to see Boyd County in the next round of the championship. Because Fairview could be right there.
Another one we need to mention is Johnson Central Paintsville, 57th district, first round matchup. That might be the best first round matchup that we are looking at as a paper, as an area. Johnson Central Paintsville, it's a shame that one of those teams has to lose in the first round of the district because Paintsville has really played well. I know you, Zach, you wrote a feature on Matt Miller and his resurgence, and he being a senior has really, when he came back from injury, sparked that team. And Paintsville's been playing some pretty quality baseball, and Johnson Central is no slouch. That'll be a tough game for them.
Paintsville, like a lot of small schools, like the one we're at, like the one a few miles up the road in Westwood, they love that. Our back's in the corner, our back's to the wall, chip on our shoulder, nobody respects us kind of deal. And Paintsville's in that situation. Talking to Matt Miller, like you mentioned, he said, we're a scary 4 seed. They split with McGoffin, they split with Sheldon Clark, they got swept by Central in the regular season series, so they earned the 4 seed on paper. But Matt Miller was not there for all except for, I think, the last 3 of those games. So you're kind of in a situation where Paintsville's a little bit stronger than probably what their seeding record says they are. And I'm sure Central is not real excited at the prospect of playing Paintsville in the first round either. So that certainly is an intriguing matchup in the first round of 57th district for sure.
Yeah. 64th district softball will probably be Boyd and Ashland in the finals once again, as usual, right?
Right.
And then 62nd, East Carter will have no trouble in Morgan County. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now. I mean, I don't think they'll have any trouble at all. 61st district is kind of interesting because of Bath County has been hitting the ball pretty well this season. Fleming County does have a pretty good pitcher in Claypool, and Rowan County, once again over 20 wins, and Coach Larry Sloan always does a nice job with their team. So, but let's talk about 63rd, guys. That's where we are today. Greenup County beat Raceland, both regular season meetings. As we're going to talk to Coach Sean Johnson, that he's very confident about his team, though, that they can, kind of buck the trend and beat the Lady Musketeers this time around. That'll be Wednesday night.
Yeah, they've beat them when they've had to in years past, and so even if Raceland hasn't necessarily shown it this year, they've shown it in years past. And as a school, I was thinking about this earlier. Again, to that whole us against the world chip on our shoulder thing, they play extremely well as a school. They seem to perform very well in games where they are maybe not necessarily the favorite on paper. You look back to football season last year, really bad loss here to Fairview to end that. Then they had gone down to Paintsville and just gotten absolutely obliterated in the regular season. So what do? They turn around, they beat Russell in the regular season finale. They go to Bishop Brossard, beat a 9-1 team in the first round of the playoffs, and they go to Paintsville. They play like crazy. Some crazy things happen at the end of that game, and they don't win it. But the track team last year, the boys track team, 6-point favorites over West Carter in the region meet. They win it by 46 points. Basketball last year, they should not on paper have beaten Greenup County in the first round of that district tournament, but they do. Yeah. This is a school that that loves to be in this situation.
Oh, they love the underdog role
right now.
Well, you talk about chip on your shoulder, Zach. I think Russell's playing with 1-2 this season. Russell lost out on their eighth consecutive district crown last year when Raceland beat them in the finals last year. So they're kind of playing with a chip on their shoulder. I mean, they want a better performance than they did last year. And but you got to look at Lewis County, who they played in the first round. Lewis County gave them a scare last year. Russell only pulled it out 1-0 last year. And Lewis County is a very improving team, a very capable team to put in a scare. Russell has the ability. They have 3 quality pitchers on that team: Cassie Fultz, Haven Lane, and Alexis Maynard too. So, Dave Wheeler has an opportunity to pitch. Has a variety of pitchers they can go to.
All right. We're going to move on to the interview portion of the show, and we're going to whip out a couple of buckets and plop down on those. We'll bring in Coach Sean Johnson in his own locker room here in a minute. All right, here with Coach Sean Johnson, Raceland Lady Rams coach. Coach, you've been around for quite a while at Raceland.
That just means you're old.
Of course, won a lot of basketball games. Coached boys basketball, of course. Coaches softball now. Can you tell me how you've changed as a coach over the years?
I don't think I've changed. Every boy that played for me says I've changed. So I don't know that I've changed. Right. I think when you get older, you get wiser, and you understand that there's a lot of different ways to push kids' buttons and to get them to respond. What I found with girls is that they are much more coachable. The boys, it seems like you go back and everybody that watches Kentucky play is an authority on basketball. And I always had a tough time bumping heads with the boys because they already knew everything. And with the girls, I've not had that problem. We don't have to worry about the girls saying, "Well, I already know more than the coach does." But I guess I probably have changed. Everybody says I've mellowed a lot. I don't know. I used to, maybe I have. Used to, I made the kids shave. I made them wear short hair, and now I let the kids have ponytails. So I have these up.
You have changed a little bit.
Yeah,
that's funny. Well, the girls are telling me, that you have a propensity to have a few meetings every year that, kind of maybe a come to Jesus talk, so to speak. So what's like one of the classic moments you've had as far as, hey, getting this team on the right page?
We had one after the Round County game earlier in the year, and most of the come to Jesus talks deals with people being selfish. And, there's a lot of things now that don't mean that much to me, but you know, kids being selfish or adults being selfish, that probably bothers me more than anything. And you know, if a kid's worried about his average, that bothers me. You know, if the team's doing well, that's what's most important. And most come to Jesus talks deal with attitude and how the kids are approaching the game and whether or not they're selfish.
Overall, you guys have had a really nice season. 21 wins at this point. Of course, a couple more games this week. 3 more games on the schedule. Of course, we're filming this Wednesday. You're watching Friday. But you know, you got the big 6th, 3rd district coming up, and that's going to be right here on your home field. How do you feel about this team overall, where it stands right now?
Well, I think we can score runs with anybody. We've shown that all season. We hit good pitching, we had bad pitching, we had average pitching. The thing with us is just being able to get off the field. You know, is to stay out of the big innings. You know, limit damage to 1 or 2 runs instead of 5 or 6 runs. You know, I think this team is going in as a 3 seed, which is what we were last year.
Right.
And what we feel as though we're just good as anybody in the district, and to be honest, we think we're the best team in the district. So, you know, we spent the whole winter telling our kids that we were the best hitting team in the region, and I think we fulfilled that. So, you know, we've also told our kids that we were going to repeat as district champion, and that's our goal.
Talking to sports writer Rocky Stanley the other day, he said that he made a comment about you guys, that you guys are fun to watch. It's a lineup that is fun to watch, and as a coach, is it kind of fun sometimes to relax? And I know you coach first base most of the time. Do you kind of get caught up in watching this lineup when it starts clicking?
Well, I do, but I understand that we've won a bunch of 14-10 games.
Right.
And I understand that even though we're hitting well, we probably need some more runs. So it is fun to watch. You know, last year we didn't hit as well, so we felt like we needed to run the bases and generate some offense. So we stole 125 bases. Coming into this season, we knew we didn't have to do that. We knew we had good hitters coming back, and the hitters that were okay hitters last year, they worked on their game. So we knew that we didn't need to steal bases to score runs, and we scored runs at a pretty good pace.
You guys will face Granite County, a team that beat you guys twice this year, but I'm sure you're thinking maybe the 3rd time's a charm.
We think we're better than Greenup. And they beat us twice, and that's no knock against Greenup. The little Crump girl, Madison Crump, did a terrific job against us. I mean, she abused us, and you know, we hope we'll be a little more prepared this time for her. But we don't enter any game with the thought that we can't win. You know, we expect to win, and we feel like we're better than Greenup. We feel like we're better than Russell. We feel like we're better than everybody, and that's how we approach the game.
Well, I mean, the stats, I mean, they really just jump out when you start looking at comparing to other teams in terms of production. The lineup has been tremendous for you. Morgan Curley's batting over 500. You know, Madison Johnson once again putting up big numbers, and we'll talk to both of them. We're going to talk to Savannah Mackey here as well. It's a kind of a nice mix of leadership too, isn't it, for this team? You know, as far as seniors go, they're not big in numbers, but you have good leaders on this team, including Savannah Mackey, correct?
Right, absolutely, and you know, this is Savannah's 6th season. You know, she's been here. It's not like she's a second-year senior. Right. She's been around the block with the team, as have Lee Grubb, Alexis Smith, our 2 juniors. So we have good leadership, and our young kids. You know, I don't know. Once you played 100 games, I don't know how young you really are.
Yeah.
So we got sophomores with over 100 games under the belt. So you know, we feel confident when we go in, and we're not intimidated by anybody.
Now, you just told me something before we came on camera here about Morehead State possibly being in the Hall of Fame. Is that a done deal?
It's not released yet, but yes, it is a done deal. They've not done the press release, but it's an athletic Hall of Fame.
What does that mean to you?
It's big. You know, when you get old, you know, you got a lot more bad days than good days. So, you know, that was a good day, and it was a good phone call. You know, I had a nice career at Morehead. Brings back a lot of good memories, a lot of teammates, and it's exciting.
The last question I had for you was, and this might be a tough one, what's the best win or maybe most memorable win that you've experienced as a Raceland coach, no matter the sport?
Gosh, dog it.
Should have given you a heads up on that one.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of them. Man, because I'm going to say one, and then I'm going to think back and say, gosh, how about this one or that one? There's been a bunch of them. Probably the one most memorable, well, I mean, you had the district championship last year.
Of course.
and even more than that, you had the play that probably signified that, the fly ball to right. My daughter Emily, throws a strike to the plate. We go from bases loaded, nobody out, to out of the inning, and which was huge. But if you go back to one game, it's probably a basketball game in the All State tournament. We're playing Louisville Holy Cross. We're down about 7 points inside a minute, or 6 something. When you get old, you forget a lot of stuff. But the game played out. We used our timeouts. We made some foul shots. We fouled them. We got a couple of steals. But anyway, we call timeout. We've got the ball with about 4 seconds to go, and we're down 2 points. And we've got it on the side there at McBrayer Arena at EKU. And in animated fashion, I instructed kids that we're going to win the game right now. We're not going for a tie. We're going to win it right now. And I was way more animated than I am now.
Right.
And that one play we ran is the result of a loss earlier in the year, but we didn't do it right. And it was a teaching moment for us, and the kids who were involved in it, they learned their lesson.
Right.
So in the state tournament, we run it, and we execute to perfection. Jeremy Stevenson comes off a baseline screen. We pitch it into the corner, and he hits a 3 at the buzzer.
Nice.
So, we go from down 6-7 points inside a minute to hitting a 3 at the buzzer to advance to the next round of the state tournament. So, one game, that probably stands out.
Yeah, a big moment too.
But in reality, tomorrow I'm going to say, man, I can't believe I didn't say this one. So but there's been a lot. Old as I am, a lot of things happen during the course of your lifetime, and some things you remember, some things you forget, and then some of the older guys come back and say, hey, Coach, you remember when? It's like, I forgot. Yeah, it's great.
Right.
And then some of the things, I don't remember that.
Yeah, hit a trigger sometimes. Well, hey, maybe more big wins to come. Best of luck the rest of the season, and I know you guys got to get the field ready for tonight, so you got to get back to work, don't you?
We need some sunshine.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, here with senior Savannah Mackey of the Lady Rams, softball player, basketball player, volleyball player, playing all 3 sports, and also the valedictorian. I just learned. I did not realize that until today. So, how do you kind of, balance that juggling act?
It's definitely difficult to maintain all my homework and playing sports at the same time. I'm constantly at practice or games, so it's very tough, but in the end I just have to go home and stay up as long as I can to study and get my work done.
Sometimes you got to sacrifice a little bit of sleep for that. I heard you got to sleep in a little bit this morning, though.
I did.
That's good. As far as softball goes, you guys have had another nice season, represented the region in All-A again, 21 wins at this point. What sticks out about this team? Why is it so successful?
I feel like we have a great hitting team. That helps a lot. And even defensively, we're very great. It's just been great all around, to be honest. We're just a good team.
Now, pitching-wise, you got to, obviously you got a lot of opportunities this year.
Yeah.
For the first time in a while, right? Did you pitch a little bit when you were younger and then took a break from it and then came back as a senior and started pitching again?
Yeah, I started in Little League and it was just kind of fun. I just did it to do whatever. And then I started pitching, I kept pitching, and then freshman year I was just like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I was like, I'm putting my foot down, I'm not pitching anymore. But then this year, Coach Johnson asked me to be the backup pitcher, and I was just like, oh my gosh, you are crazy. But it's been fun. I've had a great time pitching.
What was the first moment like when you got back in the pitching circle? You're pitching in a game again. What was that like?
Oh, I was extremely nervous. I was like, oh gosh, this is going to end up walking everybody, but it ended up being great. I think my first game was West Carter, and we ended up winning. So.
And you got to feel pretty comfortable being a pitcher, like you said, with the lineup you guys have and with the defense you have behind you. So you got to feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, I have my team behind me, and I know that they're good defensively. So the pressure is really not on me.
What's it like batting in the middle of this lineup? It's so productive. It's got to be pretty fun at times, I would say.
Yes, it is. I think it's just really fun.
Yeah. As far as your approach at the plate, you're usually batting, what, 3 or 4?
4.
4, okay. I mean, how many times do you get up there and there's nobody on base?
Hardly ever. I depend on them to get on base. That way I can put it to play. Hopefully get some RBIs.
Absolutely. Well, you got, like we just talked about, you got a lot going on. So what is in the future for you?
In the future, hopefully getting another district win. Gonna bring home the district championship.
Okay, so focus on the district right now.
Yes,
okay,
definitely.
One step at a time. What about academically? What are you going to do?
I'm gonna go to college, and we graduate here soon on Monday, so that's exciting. And then
You know where you're going to go yet?
Eastern Kentucky.
Okay. You know what you're going to study?
I'm gonna major in chemistry and then go on to pharmacy school.
All right, awesome. Best of luck with that. Best of luck with the rest of the season. All right, here with Morgan Curley, left-handed catcher for the Raceland Lady Rams, just a sophomore, correct?
Right.
Okay, I got it all straight now. You don't often see left-handed catchers. So when did you start catching? Of course, you know, you can't really control what hand you throw with, so I know you've been left-handed. But as far as catching goes, when did you start?
I started catching in coach pitch, early as I could do it. Nobody wanted to do it. I was like, I'll do it. You don't have to rotate. I'll do it. I'll sit back there. I like being involved in everything. I didn't like sitting out in the infield just picking dirt, playing with grass. So I wanted to be involved. So I think that's where it came from.
And is that still your mindset today, that you like to be kind of that general back there?
Yeah. Just being in charge and knowing everything that's going on.
So behind the plate, you've had success, obviously, and at the plate this year, especially, batting .528, 6 home runs, 55 RBIs. I believe you're leading the area in all 3 of those categories. I think you're tied in home runs. But what has gone into that success this year? Why are things going so well for you?
Definitely a lot of stuff in the off-season, teamwork, just really working on the fundamentals, getting everything down. But I think my mental approach at the plate has changed a lot. I've been able to control myself more and not get so nervous, or like when I've played against Megan, be like, oh my goodness, how am I going to do this? But I've calmed down some more, I've been trusting myself, so I think that's gone into play a lot.
Of course, you guys had Kelsey Diller for several years, and this year it's been Riley Austin and Savannah Mackey, who we just talked to, who's been handling the pitching duties. What's it been like to see them kind of progress as the season has gone along? Have you seen them, both of them, improve as the season's gone along?
Yeah, definitely. We've definitely had our moments of good where we're really hitting pitches, we're really hitting our spots, we're making the hitters work more than we had to. But it's mainly when we're not doing so well. You gotta go out there, calm her down, get her back in her mindset, and make her trust herself out there. So that's a big thing.
Of course, a couple more games in the regular season, but you got to focus on the district tournament really soon. And you guys will be hosting that, of course. And you got Greenup County, and Greenup County beat you guys both times, both meetings so far this season. What do you think the difference was in those 2 games, and why do you think it could be different next week?
I think sometimes our approach isn't the greatest. We think it's going to be easier, but I think now we know we can play with them and we can get back at them. So I think we'll be ready to hit and do everything we can to get that win.
All right, Morgan. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, we're back with Raceland's Madison Johnson, softball player for the Lady Rams, and Madison, go by both of those, hitting 500 right now for the team and going into the last week of the regular season. What's this year been like individually, just kind of seeing the ball really well and having some offensive success?
It's definitely changed from last year. Like last year we didn't hit as well as a team, so this year I had to put in work in the off season, and so did everyone else, and now we're a good hitting team.
Of course, the daughter of Coach Sean Johnson has been coaching at Raceland several different sports for a while, and he's known as a pretty intense guy between the lines. What's it like playing for him and trying to manage that relationship that you guys have with also the coach-player relationship?
I just do what he says to do.
Yeah, keep you out of trouble that way.
Yeah.
He's kind of can be pretty gruff, I guess, when he's here. You see a different side of him at home? Is he kind of more warm and cuddly, or is it just kind of a different variation of the same thing?
He's just more relaxed. He's not like cuddly.
Okay, good deal.
He's just a lot calmer.
Yeah, okay. Of course, you and your cousin JT kind of both deal with some of the same things with, you deal with epilepsy, and we've talked before, and you've talked to one of our writers about that. What are some of the just kind of the biggest things you have to do to manage that?
You have to get a lot of sleep, but it's kind of hard balancing homework. Like games you don't get home to like till 11 o'clock.
Right.
And so that's
Right.
kind of what it is.
Yeah, I know. You guys, of course, going up against Graham County next week in the first round of the district. Played them twice this year, and they got you both times some competitive games, but they came out on the winning edge there. What's it going to be like to get ready for next week and try to get them back?
These past few games, like that's how we're going to gain our momentum going into the district tournament. I think that we've put a lot of runs across the board, and hopefully that'll carry over into our green-up game.
As of this taping Wednesday, the last Wednesday of the regular season, I believe there's 9 teams that have 18 wins or more, and you guys are among those teams. What's it like to be playing right now when there's just so many good teams in this region and to be one of those teams?
I don't know.
Just kind of have the opportunity to play really well and
yeah.
be one of those
We
teams.
we play a lot of teams around here, and like you said, most of them are good.
All right, we'll be back in a minute. Thanks for watching HTPT.
HTPT's 2 for the road. We're going to close it out here, Matt. I'm going to go ahead and go first, if that's all right with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably a good idea. I'm a little steamed right now.
I'd like to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. 9-0 start to the postseason, beating the Raptors handily on Tuesday night by 30 points, and Kyrie Irving 27 points, LeBron James 24. Hitting shots and looking like the old LeBron. I think the point here is to look back, rewind a couple months ago when everything was blowing up on social media and in the media, national media, about LeBron James and is his head really there in Cleveland? Is he with this team? He's talking about playing with Chris Paul and Dwayne Wade and other players. Is there turmoil inside the Cavaliers locker room? They had a coaching change during the season, brought in Tyronn Lue, and I think all of that just shows you what just has transpired so far in the postseason. Shows you that all of that was blown way out of proportion, and we got to stop doing that. We got to stop blowing these things so way out of proportion, becoming the prisoner of the moment all the time.
Yeah.
Just because it might be a little juicy nugget for a story doesn't mean it is one.
That's a perfect segue into my 2 for the road. I don't know. I'm sure everybody has seen it now. Apparently, the Texas Rangers still had their feelings hurt over a bat flip that happened in the postseason last year. That led to a beaming, then that led to a late slide, and then that led to a right cross to the face. I'm going to mispronounce this guy's name. Rodin Odor.
That's close enough.
That's close enough. It's going to have to be.
He's not watching.
Yeah, he's not watching anyway. He's out doing something else.
He's out punching people.
He's out punching people.
No, kidding.
Yeah, sure. Well, he got 8-game suspension, and to me, the worst part is not because he got the suspension. The worst part is what's happened afterwards. Right. During a news conference the day after, he was asked, you want to learn anything from this experience? And he goes, well, what should I learn? His manager, when asked the same question, he says, what are you supposed to do? Take away his personality and his passion for the game? And he said, I think he should play. I don't think he's leave the field. So what lesson are we actually learning here when some guy assaults someone on the field over a late slide? I think the penalty should be at least a little bit stiffer than that. I think there's only way you want to get these guys to learn anything is to make these suspensions much longer and hurt their wallet even a little bit more. I think they might learn the lesson eventually.
We want to thank our guests from Raceland Softball, and best of luck to all the teams heading into the postseason. Hopefully the rain stays away and we can actually watch some games, cover some games. So get out and check out these teams before the season's over. And so this show is over. Matthew Sparks, Zack Klemme, who is, I don't know where he went. Actually, he's just 3 feet to my left, but you can't see him. I'm Aaron Snyder. We'll see you next time on HTPT.